These are the four main reasons that high achievers hit invisible ceilings, okay? Number one is identity lag, okay? So what does this mean? Well, you see, when you're at a certain level, you are used to where that is for you, and it becomes part of your identity. From the way that you dress, the way that you show up, the way that you talk, the friends that you have, the places that you live. And as you start to accelerate and you hit higher levels of success, your subconscious mind is not used to it. It feels unfamiliar, it feels unsafe. So what often happens is as you accelerate and you hit higher levels of success, people will unconsciously either limit themselves or even self-sabotage and start to go backwards because it's where their subconscious mind feels safe. So a clear sign that you may be experiencing identity lag is you're procrastinating, you're finding that you feel uncomfortable in this new way. You may feel a low level of anxiety sort of lingering without understanding why. And I'm gonna show you some techniques that you can use to actually shift out of this here in a moment. Number two is your nervous system safety limits, okay? So again, similar to identity lag, your subconscious mind, your nervous system is not used to being at the level that you're currently at. And often when we experience new levels of success, just the newness alone feels scary, it feels unfamiliar. And again, when you do this and you start leveling up and you start growing, you will experience that internal conflict and the internal anxiety that may be holding you back. And number three is you may be linking success to negativity. So what does this mean? Well, often when we hit higher levels of success, we have to change. Maybe it's losing certain friends or family members. Maybe it's becoming isolated and alone. Maybe it's putting yourself out there and being exposed to a whole new audience or more people. So as you continue to level up and create this success, we subconsciously may suppress ourselves or self-sabotage because again, we're linking that success to negativity. We're linking the success to loss. And number four reason high performers hit invisible ceilings is because they have old strategies, okay, that no longer are serving them at the current level that they're at. You know, I can tell you from operating a multiple seven-figure business and having, 30 plus people on my team, that what I used to do when I was just me, myself, the solopreneur, and as I started to add one person at a time, one person here, one person there, and as I started to scale, the old strategies of what I used to do back when it was just me no longer serve me anymore. So not only do I have to shift my identity, I also have to adopt new strategies. And when we're learning new strategies, it can be challenging. We have to go through the growth period of learning the new skills, the new strategies. And again, this can often lead to that feeling of hitting the ceiling. So the quicker that you can start to identify the old strategies that are no longer serving you and quickly stop doing them or delegate them out and start to identify the strategies as you hit those new levels, the strategies are going to give you the most leverage, and then start learning and developing those skill sets in those areas, then you can start to break through some of those invisible barriers. So now let's talk about how hypnosis is used to help you unlock these invisible barriers so that you can continue to create success rather than constantly getting stuck at plateaus, okay? So one of the first things that hypnosis does is it bypasses the critical factor, okay, which allows you to go into the subconscious mind and make change. Again, when we hit these new levels of success and identity, we have certain belief systems that are no longer in alignment with who we are. And if we try to logically and consciously make those changes without tapping into the subconscious mind, you will create a lot of resistance and you may not be able to change any of those beliefs at all. This is why often people keep going through cycles of creating a New Year's resolution and then falling back on them and not sticking to them. It's because they're consciously making those goals and those New Year's resolutions. However, they're not tapping into the subconscious mind and bypassing that critical faculty to make those changes at a subconscious level. Number two is it updates your identity, okay, without force. So can you force your identity to change? Absolutely. This is going to take lots of work, lots of conscious effort, lots of pushing, which ultimately is going to help Now, you can actually do it even quicker and even more efficiently by tapping into your subconscious mind and changing those beliefs at a core level. So this goes back to identifying things from your childhood, things that may have been passed down genetically to you, a belief system and a belief structure that is keeping you stuck in that old identity. So again, when you can update and go back and rewire and reframe some of the meanings of the belief systems that you have, you can quickly break through those mental barriers. Now, I'm here to tell you, from 0 to 7 years old, we haven't developed our conscious mind yet. So we're just basically in theta state, activating or acting as little subconscious minds running around, adopting all these belief systems. Now, some of our beliefs from 0 to 7 serve us, and some of them don't. So what ends up happening is rarely do people understand the process of actually going into the subconscious mind to rewire these beliefs. And so people are operating at 40, 50 years old with a 5-year-old's belief system and a 5-year-old mindset. So this is why it's so important to go into the subconscious mind, bypass critical faculty, and then update your identity, not through force, but through rewiring the process through hypnosis. Okay, number 3 is it recalibrates safety when you're expanding, okay? Have you ever felt extremely nervous before and you can feel your nervous system is sort of overreacting, right? You're in that nervous place and you do some breath work or you do something to get familiar with where you're at, and then suddenly that starts to cool off and you start to settle in a little bit. Well, you can actually speed up that process as you expand rather than being in that constant state of anxiety by using the process of hypnosis to not only calm you down and make you feel at peace with where you're at, also to begin to calibrate your subconscious mind to get used to the level that you're at. So, you know, when we go into a new environment, right, that is when our mind is the most activated because everything's new. So our senses are heightened, everything is brighter and more colorful, and the sounds and the feelings. And then after you're there for a while, you begin to be comfortable and it becomes like background noise. Well, through the process of using hypnosis for visualization, you can recreate those scenarios in your mind so that you can get used to them before you even actually experience it, right? So I have an event coming up here in a couple weeks. We got a couple hundred people coming out live here in Vegas. And so I've been mentally rehearsing the process of going out, introducing myself to the crowd and doing the different segments of what I'm teaching about. That way, by the time I go and I do it, it's not the first time I've experienced it. So practicing the hypnotic process of visualization and different techniques is gonna help you recalibrate your nervous system as you start to expand. Then lastly, it dissolves your old world. By the way, if you're liking this video, do me a favor, hit the like button and comment down below one of your favorite segments or even a question you may have. I'd be happy to answer in the comments. So dissolving old emotional ties, negative ties to success. So again, this goes back into the rewiring, right? Where some people I'll meet with and they think, oh no, success is gonna cause me to lose my friends and family. I'm gonna be exposed more, and so therefore I'm gonna get attacked or I'm gonna get judged. I'm gonna be isolated, or I'm losing freedom, or whatever that may be. So we've gotta go through and rewire your negative association with success so that your subconscious mind allows you to break through those mental barriers. All right, guys, so listen, if you are a coach, a consultant, a trainer, a psychologist, psychiatrist, anybody that's in the one-to-one or one-to-many coaching and consulting and training field, my team and I are providing a free hypnosis assessment where we do a deep dive to figure out what are some of these blocks and beliefs that are holding you back from shifting into that new identity and breaking through those mental barriers. So again, if you're a trainer, a coach, a therapist, a psychologist, anybody that's in the one-to-one or one-to-many training and teaching field, click the link in the description to book your free hypnosis assessment now.